Quite improvement from last year. Are you satisfied?
Very satisfied, yes. A slight improvement, but I think as the system matures and we move on, there's always going to be a slight increase unless something dramatic happens each year.
And some of our top performing provinces?
Sure. With the IEB, we really don't go into the provincial breakdowns because some of the provinces, like Gauteng, is a really big province with almost half the students. And then you'll get a province like perhaps Free State where there's 2 schools. So to try and compare province to province is actually very difficult.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah, no, so I was just going to say that generally right across the board, the children and the teachers have pulled out the stops and done their work.
And overall, when we assess the state of education in South Africa, what would we say?
I think the South African education system has had a long and hard journey. If we consider our history and where we've come from, I think we've made leaps and bounds in many respects, certainly in the throughput to matric just on its own, even though people are critical of it because it's only about 50% of the children who start. That's certainly better than it was 20 years ago. So there are improvements and there are signs of quality improvements as well in the system, and I certainly think our younger children that are coming through have shed the past in many ways and are making it on their own. They are seeing that their future depends on them and their work, and I'm heartened by what I see with the young people coming through.
Indeed. When we look at the levels of tertiary education and we look at the pass rate, how did our kids do? Well,
yes, I think they're doing well. I think we as a country are finding our feet in many ways. What I'm pleased to see are the large number of students that are actually going into education. So they're realizing that that is where we can make a difference in this country, is through education. And primary education, foundation phase, early childhood development, and I think that's heartening because it means our young people are looking to the future and saying, what can I do to make our country great again?
And then you've got students or learners who may not have made it in terms of their results. But that's not the end of the world, is it? We often have this notion that you are educated or there's educatedness when you have good results. What does that even mean?
Yeah. Look, results are only one tiny aspect of a person's life. And like in anything, I mean, if you didn't win the race in grade 1, the egg and spoon race or whatever it is that we do at school, it's not the end of the world. However, what does matter is your own attitude. How am I going to deal with this failure? Am I going to say, well, I'm a failure? Or am I going to say, well, that's in one area, but I am good at singing. I'm a good musician. I'm a good artist. I'm a good thinker. I'm a good speaker. I've got a whole range of other skills which are not reflected in the matric results. If I really want a matric and I put my mind to it, I'll get it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the attitude that we are seeing more and more of, and it's the attitude I think our schools should be instilling in our children. Resilience in the face of adversity.
100%. For those who say, well, I'm not quite sure whether, my paper was marked properly or whatever, remarking, in terms of the closing date, how long do you have to make sure that you are satisfied with the result?
The remarking, I think, closes on the 10th of January, and they come out early February in time for learners to see whether they still want to write the supplementary. The last time we will have a supplementary, this will be this year in February, March.
The last time ever.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. Anne, thank you very much for coming through and chatting to us. But before I let you go, actually, no, we have to perhaps end off with a message for learners, those who perhaps didn't make it, and for those who did make it.
Well, for those who did make it, you're on the start of the rest of your life, basically, and good luck to you, and I hope your education has prepared you for that. And for those who didn't make it, it's not the end of the world. There is another year, there is another life, there's a world out there just waiting for you.